Oscar.
We on.
We on, dog.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Ryan's just mourning the death of his new microphone.
Hey, it might not be dead.
Yeah, nah. She's
We-
probably
we
technical difficulties.
So, I just driving in here. I just had you singing "We in the Dojo" in my head.
Oh, nice.
The whole way.
Yeah. We in the dojo, baby.
How good.
Up-
We've got Josephine.
Yeah, this is Josie. Welcome to it.
We're breaking another podcast virginity.
Oh, yeah, we got four people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that too. It's doubled.
Yeah.
Double.
Oh, nice.
Double trouble.
Double trouble.
So you brought in the mouse into the dojo.
Yeah.
He lives in the dojo.
Yeah, over lockdown, it's quite interesting. We were driving, we got the notification that obviously it's about to go to lockdown, and we're like, okay, we'll just go straight to the supermarket. And then instantly in my brain is like, okay, who do I want to be locked down with? You know, because it would have been great with us, but it was
Yeah.
like, so we call Seamus straight away,
Yeah.
and we're like, hey man, just like want to check this out there because he's still living with his parents.
Yeah.
He's still living with his parents by that point.
Yeah.
Check this out. Hey, look, if you want to come over, like just pack a bag, and he's
There's
like,
a couch.
I'm on my way.
And they were like, oh, we better ask Hannah if she's okay with
True,
it.
yeah.
But she was good. And, yeah.
But we just made a stack load of cool content, like we in the dojo, running for the mind flow. Yeah,
Running with the flow, get your mind blown.
Hey.
Yeah.
Stuck a nice so.
Yeah.
No, but as of course, having the mouse in here is like part of it. He just knows on our brain level, I guess.
Yeah.
Wavelength.
The wavelength.
Yeah.
The frequency. He can see the door. So, what that means is...
He gets in the door.
So some people... You know when you're like... so we were watching this show called Westworld. I don't know if you've seen it, but...
No, not me.
There's these...
Watch it.
There's
Oh my
these
God.
There's these robots that they create, and they program some to be able to see things and some can't see things. So it's like NPC world, right?
Is that you, NPC?
Yeah, we're the non-playable characters in the simulation.
Shit, no, we're doing stuff.
Well, you think you're doing things.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're just controlled.
yeah. But basically, some people, you have that conversation, and some people have that awareness, and some people don't. Some people just see, I don't know, doesn't look like anything to me, and it's like, there's a fucking door here. Can't you see this? So Seamus sees the door. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll understand that reference. We're running off fumes right now.
It's good.
We had,
It's a good place to be.
we're
So,
alive.
as I said before we started, hold that thought. Especially now that the fucking mic doesn't work.
Yes.
When we're in the metaverse and we just channel this, like, how do you see the metaverse?
Oh, how do you see the metaverse? I think, obviously, it's just the next thing essentially. It's as simple as that. When you've got these massive switches in life where things become like the industrial section, and then the internet comes along. This is just their next big thing. But I just was out there taking a couple of business calls, and Nike just like came up on my
Nike was calling.
Nike was
It's just about to do a video
Brand
crop.
deal.
Yeah, New Zealand.
Michael Jordan, fuck off. Leave me alone, I'm about to do this podcast. But essentially, they have created their own virtual park in the metaverse.
Yeah.
So it's all like digitized, sort of got like playing fields, basketball courts and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It seems very early stages of something, but I mean, it's just the next best thing. I don't know. There's obviously that discussion of whether or not we're detaching further and further away from real life, essentially.
All
But
going into the new evolution of the same thing.
we're evolving our species, and that
Probably
that
a bit of
involves
both.
involving communication,
Yeah.
involving the way that we look at things, and
Letting go of the way we used to look at things.
yeah. And I mean, it doesn't like I don't know if you want to fully be plugged in.
Yeah.
Fully be plugged
Get,
in.
get,
like-
your, get your hole ready in the back of your neck.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Have you heard about that? Surely throughout your podcast, you've heard about the chip in the top of your head from Elon Musk.
Neuralink.
Yeah, Neuralink.
Yeah.
Yeah, would you get it? If you got the chance. If someone offered you, is like no complications. This is going to evolve your brain 10 times. Do you know about that, Josie?
I don't.
Okay. Would you like to explain?
It's instead of looking up Google on your phone, basically you already know it.
Yeah.
Or you're still bringing it. You're still bringing it
Yeah.
up, but it's just like, hey, how does that like chip in the old PlayStation work, and what was the difference between the disc and the chip?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, well, blah 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 blah.
Or you
In your
just
brain.
know
Yeah.
automatically because your brain. It's like you're plugging a chip into your brain, and your cognitive functions up tenfold. Your memory, your RAM. It's like a computer. It's like you're just improving your brain.
That's true. So you don't need to verbalize anything. It's just like a thought, and then the answer just follows like that neural pathway.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then people that both have the Neuralink will be able to communicate telepathically.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I don't know if you'd want that though. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
controversial.
Yeah.
Just denying friend requests in your head, eh? Like,
No.
no. The last time, Courtney, leave me alone.
Block. Block people out your
Yeah,
head.
neuropath, eh? Your Neuralink, just like, save them in person, but just like a real awkward fight. Like, did you block me on Neuralink? You serious? Yeah.
No, but it's gonna like know your intent, or it's just gonna be ruthless when you block Courtney, because she's gonna try and be like, nah, you and Ryan aren't on the same wave. You guys
Literally
don't.
wavelength.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there.
you guys don't. No, this is a non-compute.
Yeah. Error.
What's your sort of perspective on the metaverse and stuff like that? How do you sit?
Gonna buy some real estate for the stag reel.
Yeah, on that world thing, eh? Yeah, old Isaac John had a cool idea the other day that, like, say, and it was funny, you talk about Nike, and I was just thinking, so instead of, watching the football game and Nike billboards are just freaking rolling around, you're, like, going to go into this game and just be bombarded with Nike, but then Isaac John was talking about, say, like the rugby league, and he was like merging NFTs and the metaverse. So you buy NFT access for a player, and the player actually sells that. And then, so say they score the match-winning try, you get to, like, someone on the sideline, like maybe the drinks person or whatever, is like zooms in, and if you've got that NFT, you get to see that conversation that's being had between the drinks person and the player that's just scored the try.
True.
Or say you're a member of the Roosters, for example, and they win the premiership. There's like 15 minutes before the cameras go off where someone's in the changing room and they're doing the team song, and you get to be in the changing room.
Yeah.
Getting like
That's so handy.
getting like an eyes perspective.
Yeah.
In access, you buy access, go,
And they'll make it limited, so the scarcity's there and the value is just next level.
Through the roof.
Do you know about the UFC NFTs?
Yeah.
You can buy knockouts.
You can own a knockout.
You can own a knockout.
Same as like if LeBron scores a fucking...
Oh yeah, the NBA does the dunk, so you can own that dunk.
You can own that
So they
dunk
take
in
that
that
and
time.
That's great.
So crazy.
Have you dabbled? Like, you do digital art?
I have so many
Stepping
people
his
yelling
toes.
at me that I need to get into it. So I'm definitely, my brain's like every day I'm like, okay, I need to do this. So yeah, it's definitely on the horizon. And it's one of those things that's like, the sooner I jump into it, the better it will be for the long run.
Yeah. This wee girl, I think she's only like 9, that used to live around the corner from me in Ballina. They made some, and I think they made a few $1,000.
What the fuck?
At age 9.
That's so crazy.
And old Tom Bellew, he's done the access thing.
Yeah.
A mate of mine, actually Luke Taylor, has been on here 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
He's into it.
Yeah.
He messaged me the other day being like, yo, are you in? I was like, I have a tiny bit of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't class myself as in.
Yeah. Well, that thing you said, you put on your story, Tom Bellew, was saying there will be a limited number of Bitcoin. So if you own it, and over time, because it is limited, it's scarce, so the value will just continue going up. So just get some.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Shit. Yeah, that was like listening about gold. It's like there's this argument that like the gold people and the Bitcoin people have. It's like, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah. It's odd though, because like one's not tangible.
Yeah.
And the same with NFTs. It's like, you own the JPEG. Maybe I do a painting in a digital painting, and then somebody owns it, but they don't. I mean, it's fugazi. It's not real.
Do you know about
But it's
NFTs,
real.
Josie?
I don't.
This is education.
Yeah.
Very educational. I'm learning. Hey.
How would you describe it?
Yeah, it's ownership, and it's also a way that an artist can continue to earn from their work when it's traded up. So, like, the purpose of art would be, to hold and then let it mature and sell on. But the person that owned it hasn't really, they didn't put anything, they just had it and held it. Alternatively, there's a flip that NFTs are a way for the people that already own Bitcoin and Ethereum to try trade their wealth out.
Because that's not illegal.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a bunch of legal things that happen with Bitcoin.
So it's essentially any digital form. It could be a picture of any of us. It could be a
GIF,
audio file.
video.
It could be a GIF, video file.
Wave.
And it's
rappers are selling NFT verses,
yeah,
and then someone will just be able to buy that verse and then make a beat around it or add it to their song, and they're just literally just selling.
So
like
the new transaction of art, of an art form, it could be literally anything. Like there's this thing called CryptoPunks, and that's the highest. Have you seen the CryptoPunks? Oh my god!
I've seen the Lazy Apes.
Yeah, Lazy Apes. So they, yeah. So there's CryptoPunks, which is basically like a 64 pixel picture of men and the men, and they're basically being AI generated to make like 10,000 of them. And the most, I think the one up there is like CryptoPunk. I think it's like 4,000, something like that. It's worth $32 million, and it's literally just a square. Well, it's an uncharted market. Everyone's still trying to figure it out. Like people are, and the great thing about it, obviously, is that. So, for example, Zonny puts up in an NFT. He puts it up for like 1 Ethereum or something like that. Usually, what happens in the art world is that like you go to a gallery, you sell your art, and you no longer have any rights to be able to sell that. But with an NFT, you sell it
every time it
and
gets
then
sold.
Every time it's sold, you get a little bit of a creator's fee. So if this thing goes from like 1 Ethereum to 2 Ethereum to like, I don't know, 3,000 Ethereum or something like that, he gets a percentage of that every time it trades.
It's like you're getting royalties.
Exactly like that, yeah.
Yeah. What's it stand for? Non-fungible token.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fungible.
We're doing better than
token.
When I asked Sharon Matoi, I was like, so you're thinking that athletes should create some NFTs? What do you know? He's like, I basically know the word NFT.
Yeah.
So we're being educational here.
Yeah. So fungible. So what fungible would be?
Coins.
Like funds. Yeah. It's a token. It's worth something. Non-fungible. It's right. It's one of a kind. It's not it's not like money.
Yeah.
In the sense. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. The other thing again, Tom Bailey is going hard on this. He's going hard with education as well. But like he was saying, say you said about there's like 4,000 or whatever, and number 1 might be more valuable than number 2, and number 7 might be more valuable. Number 8 will be very valuable in China. Say it's like the Dunks one, Michael Jordan, 23 is the most valuable. So it was David Beckham's halfway goal against Wimbledon. It'd be like, number 7 and number 23 would be the most valuable.
Gotcha.
Number 1 would be the most valuable. So
but it's almost,
it's a very like market driven thing, and like very much the market decides.
It's very much a clout driven thing as well. Because if you're in that elite of lots of money, and you're like, I can chuck 100 mil towards this JPEG that
little JPEG,
and it's like you literally you own it, but it's kind of just in the it's in the ether. It's not physical. It's hard because it is real because the idea is real, but it's not real because you can't grab it and own it and be like, yeah, look, I've got this painting. It's like, but I own that.
You're in the domain for
by
that
law.
painting.
Yeah.
What's it? My friend Lachlan Morris has bought horses on as
shout
NFTs. Yeah, shout out to Lachlan. But he has bought horses on OpenSea, which is just a platform to buy them. So, do you know about the fact that with NFTs you can buy game items? So if you so you can own items from actual games. So he owns a couple of horses on this game called Z Run. So these are like, it's crazy. Like they're AI driven and replicated horses. Essentially, they have like different breeds. Their parents really matter. Like there's a lot of aspects that go into how really good this horse is. But you go onto this site Z Run and you race those horses that you've bought for a little bit of money and you win money back. Like it's just like straight gambling. But when you watch them run, it's just all. So every single race is AI. How do I say? It's just completely at random. Completely at random.
Like random number generated.
Yeah, in a sense, but to like with a big brain.
Big brain energy.
And we're sitting there like betting like 0.0003 Ethereum on our horse, just like screaming at the screen, and all these like digitized horses like going like this, being like, "Oh!" It was like this horse is Go Moneymaker, and you can't the names are AI generated as well. But this is like a very
this is a
real
different world.
thing. This
It's
exists.
a different world that's happening.
Yeah, it's buzzing. Yeah, that's like it's a little bit of like clout. Like, I'm betting on something that's run by an AI. Nobody has any idea how it's like. Yeah. And then like, are we going to see hacking of those races?
Exactly. Well, if it's hackable, which it is, people will hack.
Well, you're hacking. There's like people are hackable, but AIs is like you're trying to beat a computer that's beating you like continuously over.
AlphaGo is the proof that you can't beat the computer.
No. Wait,
do you know what AlphaGo is?
What is AlphaGo? No. Yeah, I was just like,
yeah. So there's like the first sort of AI they did was to try and get a computer to beat someone at chess, and then a grandmaster at chess.
Yeah.
And they did that, and then so now grandmasters train with computers to try figure out the best moves and stuff. Yeah. And then there's a game in China called Go, which is more complex, and same thing again. They got the computer to beat the grandmasters of Go. And now again, grandmasters that play human to human train with the computer because the computer helps them to be awesome. And so, like a human computer will beat a computer, and also obviously make you a better player.
Yeah, you're beating something that's incomprehensibly better than you. Like in every that's
the thing. If you have the limitation of like, okay, well, the chess, but Go's a lot more complex, and then it's like you hit that, and then it's like, okay, what's next? Like, no, the computers are smarter than us now. You know?
Yeah. So in optometry. So the thing I was doing on Friday, that was yesterday, right?
Yeah, it was.
Fuck. Yeah.
It's all a blur.
Yeah, so that was people come in with diabetes, they get their photos taken, and then I literally look at these 4 photos, look for little hemorrhages, look at their blood vessels, and then I rate it, give it a score, and say you're coming back, say 6 months, a year, 2 years, 18 months. You need to go to the hospital right now. Yeah. And
can you see me right now?
It's like, but I can't laser your eyeball. I can't give you an injection. Yeah. So the computer did deep learning with a bunch of highly skilled graders, so ophthalmologists who are used to looking at these photos. And then, so now the computer's more accurate at scoring these photos.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But what a beautiful thing as well, you know?
Yeah, so...
I mean, it's taking jobs, but...
sort of. Like, my mate Siobhan, he was talking on his YouTube about how much we're already doing. Like, I spent a whole day yesterday.
Yeah.
Saw 39 people. We sort of normally see 45 people.
Yeah.
And that's costing the DHB money.
Yeah.
It's costing time, it's pretty like arduous. Yeah. And so that's just going to like free up a lot more stuff. You still need at this stage, you still need the ophthalmologist to do the treatment. You still need somebody to get the notification.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At this stage, I love it. At this stage, we still have control.
Yeah. We're just gripping on to this slippery, oily pig that's just running away.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, but how good would it be though? Like, I don't know, a machine comes in, like opens up your eyelid, puts some drops in your eyes, then comes at you with a needle to fix your diabetes, eye disease. That'd be pretty. I don't know how. Good you feel about that.
And then there's add some voice commands with it. Just be very relaxed. And it's just like this big like metal being.
Now open your eyes.
Say forward.
Getting a vasectomy. I don't know if I trust this guy. Please relax.
I feel like that with like the new public toilets that are like digital. Have you had those?
Yeah.
That's trippy.
So they're like, you got 5 minutes. Like,
come on. I got to know. Stage fright.
The world.
Yeah.
And push. And push.
And breathe.
God, yeah.
Classic.
It's just like, it's weird how they've just incorporated in there, because it's not like the job has been replaced. Like, there's not like a human being there being like,
push.
You've got 5 minutes. Just like standing behind the wall, or I gotta reverse this window or whatever.
Oh, what we were saying the other day, with the metaverse, once you're in
You'd
there,
be able to take a shit.
well, you'll be able to take a shit. You can shit while you're fucking walking down the road in the metaverse.
It's a meta
But so doctors will be able to perform surgery before they actually perform surgery.
Yeah,
you know, like they'll be able to run the simulation inside of the metaverse.
Loose.
over and over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and you'll be able to like have somebody, like program it. It'll be some like Star Trek-y looking shit, man. I'm excited. But I mean, at that point, it's like, what's like this is so good. Why do I want to come out to reality? You know?
It's odd the different perspectives on it though, because me and Jussy we're always talking about like can't wait for it and like excited and just like the way we just see it as the way the world's moving. But my mum on the complete opposite, she was like, I want nothing to do with that. I don't even care because she knows I like to dabble in simulation thing. I'm always like, it's a simulation, Mom. She's like, shut up. But she's like, I don't even care.
It's probable.
Yeah, exactly. It's more probable, Mom.
Do you believe it could happen? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's a we're already in it.
It's like, it definitely will happen. So how can you say we're not? But yeah, she wants nothing to do with it. She's like, I want just to be I want the grass. I want everything to be real. I'm like, but Mom, this might not be real. She's like, I don't care. But
that's a hard
should be
thought,
interesting.
Isn't it in a sense that
Well,
like
you have to let go. Surrender.
with that like with like the
Float
idea
downstream.
what's the Amber used to talk about all the time about the probability of a simulation sort of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, like what is that sort of thing?
So basically, so you take a computer game from 30 years ago, ball, pong, you're bouncing a ball back and forth. Very, very
Moore's law?
criminal in a sense.
It's not true.
But then you look at the photorealistic virtual reality systems we have 30 years later, such a short amount of time, right? So if you just follow the trend, it'll eventually get to a point where the virtual reality is indistinguishable from this reality. And if that's true, because if everything goes well and there's no asteroids that fucking crashed into the planet,
Just that,
yeah, literally, if technology keeps on going, we will get to a place of that happening.
Virtual reality. Yeah.
And so you put the probability of the amount of it's millions and millions and millions of probabilities of if there is a simulation, it's already been created, because it's either one real, like this is the real world, or the millions and millions and millions of possibilities that could be simulated.
Yeah.
Because if you are in a simulation, you're going to create another simulation. You're going to create another simulation, and you keep on. Like we could be
The metaverse is the birth.
if we
of
tap
another
into another
simulation.
simulation, we could actually be tapped in from so many different. I don't know. It's too big to comprehend to even like use the brain.
I can't remember his bloody name, but I found it like very much a god complex. The idea of a simulation was like the scientific version of a god complex. Like, actually, we are created. I was like, this is just like a full circle narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
Well, we've always what makes us the alpha is essentially that we were the first animals to be able to be like, look at the environment and be like, I'm gonna change that.
Fuck it up.
I'm gonna
fuck with it. I'm gonna take this dirt and put it over here.
Yeah, it's like almost like a primal like when when you're like walking by like say like a bush, like there's a hedge or there's a tree that's in your way, and all you just want to do is just grab a leaf and just pull it off.
Yeah.
Just like that. It's like an instinct, almost like primal nature. That it's almost like a birthright.
You need to get in touch with your inner Buddha, eh?
Yeah.
As these
It's weird
flies
because
buzz around.
It's in us so innately as well, because if you look at different civilizations across the planet that started before they had even crossed over and were, there was planes and ships going everywhere, cities just built themselves. Like it's natural for us to build these cities, just to build a hut and then upgrade it and evolve it and get to the point where we're living in now, which is just so crazy.
Yeah, like shelter removes you, or tries to remove you from nature. And then like now you look at our houses currently, Nigel Beach, who runs the Wim Hof method training seminars, he talks about like even in your car, you and your partner can be 0.5 degrees different.
It's so we're addicted to comfort.
Yeah, and like houses in the UK used to be on average like 14 degrees, and now they're up to something like 19 or even 21.
Yeah.
It's just like we don't get cold, we don't get hot.
We don't have struggle.
But tell you what, you've been to like Thailand and stuff.
Yeah.
How good's 21 degrees when you've come from 40?
Yeah. Well, I like that heat, man. It just makes me feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. The hotter, the better.
When I was in Rara, I was just sweaty.
Yeah. I run pretty cold. Jussy runs hot.
So hot. I'm boiling right now. But I remember it's just you become accustomed to just being drenched constantly. And when I was when I was over there, I was working construction, and there was this international company called McDowell, and they were trying to basically push on health and safety standards of like basically the world, which is like full gear. So like full length pants, full arms, you got your helmet, glasses, air protection, yeah, everything. And it's like New Zealand, yeah, maybe that's all good. And Raro, what the fuck is like? What are you trying to do? Like suffocate us? And these boys, like, it's crazy because you go over there, and obviously they've just grown up with that environment of where it'll be, 35, humid as hell, and they're just like chilling.
Yeah.
Got hoodies on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hoodies on.
Cold.
And there's me, just like swimming.
Naked.
Swimming. Yeah.
No, I'm the same. Like, if I'm in the office, especially in winter, they'll crank the heat up, and like I go sit downstairs in the cold because it makes me super dozy. Like,
like tired.
Yeah.
So, and same if I'm like driving, especially at night, I always have cold air on because like I feel like it keeps me awake. Yeah.
Just,
I
like, blistering in the
totally
eyes.
vibe with that though. Like if I'm feeling like tired or something and it's like cold out, I'll just take my hoodie off and I'll just start waking up a bit more.
You ever had a sketchy experience like driving, like knowing that okay, I shouldn't drive, and maybe had a little boom boom off the side?
Oh yeah, like the whoa.
Have you ever fallen asleep?
I've never fallen asleep. I remember coming home from work one day. I was landscaping at the time, and I was not fit for landscaping, and it was just whereabouts all day. And I was just heading home, and the sun was coming down, there's white lines, and I'm just like, whoa. Like, those eyes dropped, I just pulled over and had a nap.
Isn't it buzzy though that you could have like lights shine in your eyes and fall asleep? That's the same in optometry school. Like would be so slow, and like the lamp, the microscope like shines a light in your eye, and we just fall asleep on each other all the time. It's like you need to open your eyes. I can't fucking see.
So what is it? Yeah, when you're like, you don't need to close your eyes to fall asleep, eh?
Nah. You can have like, so micro sleep's the most dangerous because you just like carry on driving, whereas like it's more dangerous. I'm not endorsing drunk driving here, but it's more dangerous than a drunk driver because they still at least have some reactions. They're slowed, but
there's better than none.
Yeah.
Micro sleep where you're just like.
If you're tired, drink some alcohol.
No.
Brought to you by the Stag Roar.
Yeah.
And what are these guys?
Yeah, sponsored by Three Wise Birds.
Nuts.
Have a couple Three Wise Birds before you drive. It's comedy.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, true.
Definitely true.
So like,
endorsed.
Like, have you seen people like? I love seeing like people when they're absolutely just gone too far gone and they'll fall asleep with their eyes open. Just like looking at you into the blankness of the world, just like.
It's like, oh dear.
As a kid, I used to sleep with my eyes open. Like,
demon child.
I'd go to sleep with them closed, but then like my mum or something would always like come in and start talking to me because my eyes would be open. But I'd be asleep. It's trippy.
Good.
So
So
Imagine that, like, turning over and be like, "Sup, babe," and just like.
I used to get sleep paralysis all the time.
Oh, can you go
Serious.
into like what is it like for you?
So weird. It's the most random thing. The first time I had it, I was at a friend's house, and I I just thought her mum had like sleep paralysis demon was her mum.
Yeah.
And she just like opened the door and just stared at me, and I was trying to be like, "Hi, Lee," like, "Hi, what are you good?" Like, and I just couldn't. I was like fully paralyzed.
Yeah.
And
But
she
you're
just
awake.
stared at me. Well,
your
sleep
mind's
paralysis.
awake. Your
Do
body.
you know about sleep
body's asleep.
paralysis?
Nah.
Oh,
Oh.
whoa,
Yeah.
man, this is an interesting one.
It's an odd
Yeah.
phenomenon.
So I mean.
I know
It
about
is.
like people sleeping with their eyes open.
Yeah.
What's going on
Well,
here?
child.
So, like, I assume my eyes were open, but then I don't know because, like, what was I seeing? I was like in that room, and that's what I would have been seeing, but it seemed so real, but it wasn't. So, I don't even know if my eyes were open or not. But sleep paralysis, you feel like you're awake, but your body's like paralyzed.
Can't
like,
move.
Can't move. You can't talk. It's like it's so scary, and then you just drift back into sleep. And so
you remembered.
yeah,
all of
so
it.
then I
Oh,
woke
man.
up later. I was like stressing, and I was like, "The fuck, like, I can't do anything."
When
And
you
then-
wake up later, are you like, am I still asleep?
well, I was like,
Mum's still like standing there, right?
I said to my friend, I was like, "Did your mum come in?" She's like, "Mum's not home." I was like, "Ah, shit.
Yeah.
And then it happened to me again when I don't usually nap, but I was real tired and I was like just had a nap during the day. And I thought I heard my mum come home from work. Same thing. I was facing the wall though, and I thought she opened the door and she was just staring at me, and I was trying to be like, I'm awake. I was like trying to talk to her, but my back was facing the wall, and I just remember staring at the wall, feeling her presence.
Yeah.
And then I woke up later to her actually coming home. But it's so trippy that both times it's just been mum staring at me sleeping.
That's you got to read into that.
Yeah.
I just find it real weird that you like, especially that time when you're like facing the wall, but you have the complete image and complete experience of what's behind you.
Yeah.
It's odd, eh?
Yeah, it's so trippy. And
Yeah, that's the common
Dreams
thing.
are
People
such-
just you go into sleep paralysis. You sit there, and it's usually another person gets involved of where somebody comes like and essentially is over, and you can't do anything. You're just stuck there.
Yeah, I had like a
And
weird.
so self-awareness,
Yeah.
like, super, and that's where you're able to remember it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's a strange thing.
What did you have?
I had a well, I don't trust memory at all. But when I was a kid, what I remember was having that like waking up and then just and you can't move. Your mind's
You can take
completely
that in
awake.
many ways.
Well, your body-
Audially, yeah. Audially, we're all here looking at that. But
Yeah, but you're trying to speak and you can't, and then
Oh, there it is.
there it is. Yeah,
Vicious animal.
Is that even Bella? I don't even think that's Bella.
no, it's not.
No, yeah, that's next door neighbour's dog.
Jesus.
what's going on?
Oh, is it the dog on Heat? no, legit. There's a dog over there, this little black dog that they tie down, and it just like goes like that, like all the time. They're like, they looked up the neighbours and they're like, "Hey, look, a dog on Heat." All right, so just
That was continuing on from Jussy's sound. Fuck, that's you.
yeah.
Zonny's sound. I used to, when I was little, and again, a bit like Jussy, I don't trust my memory, but I always used to wake up to the feeling of like a man's hand grabbing my hand and just be like, "Wah!" It's like, it's like one of those things that you don't want to get hypnotized or you know have a psychic reading for, because they're like, "Oh, you were traumatized as a child." You're like, "No, it was just a dream."
Yeah.
It's
But
just
was
a
it?
dream.
Or is it in your subconscious? Like, who knows?
Nah, it happened.
Yeah, it happened.
So what happened after you? You couldn't,
Right,
you
so-
couldn't talk.
Yeah, I couldn't
continue.
talk, and I just saw this kind of like shadowy figure above me. But I don't know. I think I've kind of created that in my memory.
Yeah.
It's so weird as a child. Is like I distinctively remember like being in primary school, looking at the bark on the floor on the playground and being like, "Yep, that's lava." Just seeing it like red hot and being like, "Yep, that's lava." Like can't touch it and stuff like that. And being so visually driven by that. And as you get older, like your imagination seems to. You're almost like, I know the world. You know the world too much. There's like there's so much information that you can't look back in a sense where, I don't know, I can probably imagine it, but I can't see it in a visual sense.
Unless you take enough mushrooms.
And then just see it.
Or you think about the simulation in the metaverse too much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Imagine just being like click, and then the like floor is like
You gotta
lava.
tap into the code and just fucking hack that grass.
Yeah. But then, like, that's going to bring a whole new meaning to the floor as lava, right? You can actually play that game and wonder if you... This is dark.
Yes.
Wonder if
Yes.
you get to have the experience of burning from lava.
No,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
next thing, right? Getting
Yeah.
your like your receptors of your brain to be able to react to it, of where you can like you'll be able to feel that finger just like touching you, rather than
Yeah.
like the visual representation,
Yeah.
which is what it's like in VR.
Like, how long is it going to
go
go
like
for
this.
before it's like game over?
Yeah, and
Like,
then
you're going to be sitting
Yeah.
there in your room going, "Ah!"
Or
Mom,
even-
get the camera!
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yo, and like that would be crazy as well. Like, it's just like a real life game of Sims, you know?
Yeah.
A real life game of Sims of like where like vlogging will essentially be this like, I don't know, like virtual camera that's just like floating around you like in the universe, and you'll just be sitting in your metaverse like watching people like live life in the mid. Oh, okay. It's a big
It's such
spiraling
such
hole.
such a conversation, man. It's so the brain. You pack up your gear from this podcast and leave, and you're just walking out, and then all of a sudden, ding, pop up comes up. You have run out of tokens for the simulation. You're like, wait, what? Watch ad to continue.
You watch
Yeah,
it.
forget about
Sleep.
it.
Fuck!
Yeah, like,
Nike shows up,
just got to sit through a 3-year ad to get back into this.
So when Metaverse was on the news, what did you think? Were you just like, yeah, cool?
Do you know much about the metaverse?
Nah, this is literally the first I'm hearing of it. I don't watch the news.
Hey, but your Instagram now says Instagram brought to you by Metaverse.
Does it?
Yeah, so it's Meta Facebook's been
Meta, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have
Get
seen
your
it.
things
Yeah,
right.
Get the
Okay.
right branding. They work
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hard.
So,
for that.
do you understand what the sort of
Sponsored by
metaverse is?
Metaverse.
Whoa.
So it's basically bringing. If you watch Ready Player One,
No.
oh my
I feel
god.
so uneducated.
So essentially, it's just
This is
bringing.
just movies, don't worry.
It's
You've seen The
bringing-
Matrix?
Yes.
Yeah. So sort of a sense bringing meta for Facebook is like bringing the social world into the digital realm essentially of where imagine for example you go dancing, right? You've got a dance school, but nobody's actually at your studio. Everyone just logs in and they can see everyone around them. They're in that studio. So that's where eventually it's heading, of where you'll be able to be at places connected in a sense of not ever actually being there, but
Chuck on the virtual reality headset, and now you're hanging
can
out
teach
with
a
a bunch
class.
of your friends across the world. I mean, we've already kind of tapped into that. With have you tried much VR?
No.
We my mate I bought a Oculus Rift. I actually just sold it to Lockie, but I was playing.
That's so I can race
I was
horses.
playing ping pong with my friend. Yeah, literally. Get it. But yeah, I was playing ping pong with my homie he was in Illinois in America.
Okay. Yeah.
I met him in Thailand, and we were literally playing ping pong, and we could hear each other like this, and you could feel the vibration of the ball, and ding ding, and just pass it. We're just yarning, playing ping pong over.
Is it gonna monopolize the market? So say, but then how do we create hierarchies? So it's kind of like the best dance teacher in the world actually ends up hosting and teaching dance to everyone. Are we going to have this monoculture of dancing? But then there's going to be a cost to that. So
Yeah.
then there's going to be levels of dance teacher.
absolutely.
But then how do we prove our knowledge as a dance teacher?
But how do you do it already?
Yeah,
You know,
that's
it's all just
It's like word of mouth.
nothing would change. Yeah.
In a sense, in a buzzy one about that sort of thing, like different realms, and essentially as you go onto OpenSea, again, an NFT sort of, where you can buy shit. You can buy realty.
Mm.
People are building worlds.
Yeah.
People are building worlds, and you can own that little section, and it's just in thin air, completely thin air. This is the thing that blows people's mind. It's like it's untangible. It's not physical. You can't touch it, but it's getting to that.
And
point
there's
of
no
being
limited
real.
space.
Yeah, there's no
You
limited
can just
space.
keep building.
You keep building, but people are
You can
essentially
have
creating these-
the size of the universe just for your backyard. It's gonna get to a crazy point where it's like, do you want to play? Do you want to play
there's
God?
no scarcity in that though.
But I feel
Well, you're
as-
gonna have to pay for it.
They'll be paid for it because
You
the
know,
only thing
but you
the
can
coders
earn
will rule the world.
Yeah.
People who build this stuff is
Yeah.
going to be all essentially code. Or then they'll just be AIs. But essentially, there's realty because
Someone's got to code the AI.
yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's going to do the back end.
Yeah,
then-
until a point where it doesn't need to anymore, and it's coding itself.
And that's the scary part.
And that's the what is it? The singularity.
Yeah.
The singularity. I mean, yeah, and then maybe it will get to a point, when people go through vintage stages of op shops or all that kind of stuff. Oh my god, have you tried the real world recently?
Yeah.
Yeah. Real water is so much better than in the metaverse,
Yeah.
So what are we going to live in? At the moment, you guys are got a flat
Yeah.
Yeah.
on a piece of land that has a title to somebody, and they probably have a manager to look after you guys, interact with you guys. But
Well, with the metaverse, Facebook will own everything.
Yeah.
And they sell it to the companies, and then you can.
Well,
sell it.
they will own a section because I think the metaverse or the metaverse is theirs. Like I said, that's
But that's
their
playground.
version of bringing the social aspect of things.
Yeah.
But the VR, the virtual reality world will exist. That's just there. It's almost like
know-
social interaction
yeah.
already exists, but Facebook is just a digital version of
Well,
that.
Oculus is owned by Meta.
Okay, it's all over.
Yeah, it's all over. They own everything. Yeah, so
It's all over.
I don't see it. Well, that's the thing. Is that will be Facebook's playground or Meta's playground, and we can tune into that world. And I'm sure Google will create their own playground, and we can tune into that one. And then
do you know what they're running it on? Are they going on blockchain or something? Or?
At least
no, they all have their own servers.
they have their own servers. I don't think they'll probably run it through blockchain. blockchain. I'm not
Which would
sure.
that would be the
I'm
that would be
not
the ideal
sure.
world, you know.
But do you know about
Because-
blockchain? No, yeah.
At this point,
This is
Educational.
diversified proof of ownership. So
Yeah.
Okay.
it needs there's a bunch of people mining inverted commas, and they have these computer units which continually run this
I'm
equation.
very familiar with mining.
Yeah, so they're running the equation
Yeah.
to prove all the transactions.
Yeah.
So when you do a transaction, it's got to the proof has to be that you own it, and then the proof then needs to be transferred to them, so they now own it. You don't own it anymore, and it's got to be across a number of computers, and they've all got to line up, or else you're putting something that doesn't exist in there. So that's
Yeah.
how it exists.
And that's
But
pretty much what crypto is decentralized banking. So everybody is running it from their own computers.
Bitcoin only exists because they were like, I remember watching this thing, like Supreme Justice Court, and they were like we're gonna stop this Bitcoin, and like you'd have to shut down every single computer in the
Yeah.
world at the same time.
Yeah.
That's physically like
And everybody's using VPNs now, so nobody knows what anyone is and what anyone's
I know
doing.
where some mines are.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I was staying at a Airbnb here in Hawke's Bay at Labour Weekend Day, and then there was this container, and I popped my head in, and I was like, oh, it's a drum studio, and then to the left I was like, oh, and it's a mining rig.
It's this big ass rig in the corner, I just hissing.
They're just making money, not even doing anything, so I might as well preoccupy
Well, you were
myself.
saying that when you went to Tauranga, you got to explain the story of
Well,
how-
this is
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
So one of my good mates, her partner is mine. So there.
Shout out to Lennon.
Shout out to Lyndon Bird. But yeah, their office is just like stacks and stacks of just the mining ring. Just got a
Yeah.
fan in there because it gets so hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, but what trips me out is that like he works in there because he actually works for then Trustpower and does like all this data analysis. But I'm like, how does he work in there? I feel like the radiation of like all that is killing him. But
Maybe.
I mean, and it's good chat. Like what a lot of miners do is get containers or something in somewhere real cold,
Yeah.
and they just run it out of there. Like once it's set up, and then it's ventilated and it doesn't overheat, and it's far away, but you're still controlling it and all those things. But such a trippy concept.
Yeah.
Very
But-
short concept, yeah.
New Zealand's well set up for it though, because that's old Elon's criticism is that like if people are burning coal to make power, and then crypto is like it's not so good. But
It's not good for the
New Zealand. We're pretty renewable.
Just imagine that you've just
Get
got
some
like
solar
imagine
power
dams just turning you got like a fucking huge crypto like mining machine just running off this like turbine and shit,
Yeah.
water
Well-
cooled and stuff like that. That'd be crazy.
Or like you think about like if the grid is if we've got all this wasted energy and they can optimize the grid to be what's needed, and anything extra is going into mining.
Yeah.
money.
But it's odd because-
if Contact Energy is listening to this, that's a great idea. I want
We
I
own
want
it
a
first.
slice of
We
it.
own it first.
yeah,
That'll be 10%.
Might put it
Thanks.
in
Yeah.
the Metaverse, but you want to
Yeah.
own that idea?
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
But that's the thing. It separates again. It separates people again to another degree.
because it's like
Yeah.
they've already got the access. They've
Yeah.
already got the real estate on that. They've already got the source. It's like opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Like the thing, they started out as a power company, say, and then it's all of a sudden they turn into a crypto mine.
Yeah.
And so then does all the energy companies become the biggest owners of cryptocurrencies because they have the energy to do it.
Exactly.
But then what do they
They
do?
have the
the
monopoly.
the monopoly on the
Yeah.
entire industry of it.
Yeah.
That's like what I find interesting with London is because it's so high up in Trustpower.
Yeah.
And then running mining, I'm like, I see the correlation.
Yeah.
Like,
Ah, they're ahead of the
Is that
curve.
coming out?
We're losing you.
Was the button? Oh yeah, should be good. Try.
hello.
There we go.
There we go.
You're back.
And we're back.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. It's a pretty crazy world out there.
That's just not even the real world.
It's odd living through this time and growing up through this time and just kind of making the decision like, do we adapt or do we not? Because there's such a movement right now of people that just want to get back to the earth, and just like but it's like this. It's too far gone. Like even
It's not too far gone. Like they will always exist, and I think it's important. like we're built from this. We're building our own environment. We're our own gods, essentially, of where we're creating this virtual world. But that thing, it's not like we're gonna essentially escape.
No,
we still have to eat.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're still a meat vehicle.
Yeah, meat sack. You know, like we still have to do those things.
You still need, your body's requiring exercise. You can't just plug in.
But imagine we get to the capabilities of technology of where, like imagine some Shark Boy and Lava Girl shit where you're dreaming and it's like, okay, now you're in the metaverse. Like you sleep, you get your REMs, you do all that kind of stuff, but there's a certain part of your brain that's occupied by sponsored. You wake up and it's like, this dream is sponsored by Meta.
Yeah.
What happens if, like, you own a lot of things like in NFT? Is that the right?
Yeah.
And then you die. Like, can you add that into deeds and wills now? And
yep.
stuff?
No. Yeah. It's possession. It's an asset. It's just a digital asset.
Yeah.
The thing that's really hard for people to understand is that it's imagine how I've kind of described it. NFT is that. So look at a bowl or like look at a pen or look at this right, and then being like removing it, and then be like that pen is yours. Like that pen, it's just the idea of that pen, that domain of that pen, like the intellectual property. Essentially, it does exist. It just doesn't exist in a physical form, which is really weird for the human brain to be able to be like,
and to attribute value to it. You know,
that's the biggest thing. Like when you're talking about like wills and deeds, and it's like you've put that as your asset column.
You're my CryptoPunk.
Yeah. I and say as an individual or as a trust or whatever. You've got that line there. But in order to hand it on, you've got to give them the key. So that's like your login to wherever it's stored. And so how much do you trust your trustee of your will? Like, they could just... but that's the same. That's the same with any lawyer or accountant. They could, take people's money, and it's like the trust system coming in. And it's like, where are you going to place these things?
I only recently understood about so with a trust. I think Darth Cornelius was showing me about this. But
is that his name?
Darth? You mean Darth?
No, that is amazing.
His name's Darth and Cornelius. There's two names,
and it's fitting for his character.
Oh, Darth. Yeah. Oh, talking about that, I opened that up.
He's an original Cuban.
He's from
day dot. That's fantastic.
He walks in. I'm at Lachlan's place in Hastings. We're just like sitting there, doing a bit of trading, and then he comes in and he's like, "All right, both of you, shut your eyes and hold your hands out." And it's like,
I've seen this trick before.
Speaking of trust,
He's like, both of you, open your hands out, and like,
do you trust me, bro?
Yeah, he's just walked out. That's not the first time I've seen him in like months, bro. And he's like, okay,
oldest trick in the
hands
book.
open and stuff like that.
It's a dick in the box.
It's a dick in the box.
So sitting there, closed eyes, and we're like all excited and stuff like that. And then he just like puts it in
What is it?
Puts it in his hands, and he comes out, and it's just this. It's this what would you call it? Basically, it was
elephant killer.
It was basically a gun. It was a gun. Like so he works at Gun City. Like he's American, so he's like going around that, but he's a really good so ethos around that sort of thing. But it's that gun of where like the cowboy western of where you got your hands in and you go whoosh, whoosh like that sort
lever
of thing.
Action. Yeah,
lever action, and he was like, he showed us like this is a 9mm bullet, which is mostly like MP5s, the little pistols and stuff like that. And then he showed us this, like it was a slug, and he said it will put like a 10-inch hole in any animal on the planet. And I was like, what?
Do you know what it was?
The gun.
Or the cow?
God. He said it was basically 400 times the power of a 9mm bullet or something like that. I could probably find it later on after this, but
it was just a lot bigger.
It was really interesting, like learning about it, because he was like, so during when the Americans were trying to, the invaders were trying to beat the Indians essentially. The Indians were just too good for them in terms of their strategies and stuff like that. Just mass
shooting arrows,
just like ping, incapable of being able to do it. So
Rise of the Sun.
they had back in that time just really like slow loading weapons and stuff like that. It would just take ages, like one shot while
Had to
this.
get off their horse.
Yeah, while this
Yeah.
Indian
Just
Americans
Put
just going like,
put that musket, like load that powder in.
yeah, and that'd be terrifying. So
Anybody
what,
else's American history from Durham?
Yeah, that's all mine.
absolutely, yeah.
The
And
Comanches.
so essentially,
vicious.
They were vicious, man.
there was this weapon that
cut
they,
your leg off, throw it in the fire in front of you.
there's this weapon that they had, that lever action weapon, which is what he had essentially, where they couldn't kill the Indians, but they killed the buffalo. So these things were just one kill, like they'd just go into herds and just like kill all the buffalo, which is what the
And then they starved.
yeah, and then they starved,
Yeah.
and that's how it bit him, which is a crazy thing. And like he was explaining the history of it, and I was like, that's real dark. He's like, yeah, but it's a cool gun. But it's a cool gun. It's such a
And he's like, that was 400 years ago. And you're like, oh, that's even more dark.
that's
Yeah.
even more dark. But oh yeah,
Yeah, we got to give ourselves some credit, you know, in terms of like where we are now compared to where we're at, because you know everyone's complaining about like, oh, you know, there's so many problems in the world, but it's like there has never been a better time to be alive.
But we
in
come.
terms of your safety,
We
in
say
terms
that in a place of major privilege as
Major
well.
privilege,
Like,
yeah.
And I'm like real grateful. Thank you, like for being in New Zealand. Thanks, Mum, Dad.
Yeah.
You know, like birthing me into this world here. But basically, that trust, and this is my understanding of it. But someone would say something if it's wrong, is that he was like, if you put your money into a trust, say if it, like a divorce, essentially, you can't. They're not able to get into that trust because it's no longer really owned by you. It's owned like in the trust of somebody else. So you don't split half of that or your assets and stuff like that. It's just the money that comes in,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Is it?
I'm not a lawyer.
My attorney.
That's a blanket like
I'm not
thing.
speaking
I'm not
about my
like
attorney present.
Oh, like, speaking of, like, adult shit.
it's so adult, isn't it?
Adulting.
I was fucking on a 2-hour phone call with a mortgage advisor. Not mortgage advisor. Insurance advisor the other night. And then, so, like, by the end of 2 hours of talking about your demise, I just, like, just casually text my girlfriend and be like, I think I need a trust. We both need to write wills. And she's like, what are you talking about?
That's just the odd concept there.
I've just spent 2 hours talking about how I'm going to die and who's going to get some money.
Hey, yeah,
And like how I'm going to get terminal illness and this,
Yep, yeah,
and this is
well-
what could happen. And like this, you know,
That's
here's the
crazy.
benefits you could get if you get terminal illness. And like what you should think about.
It must put it in perspective. Having a daughter, that must come real. Of like, oh shit, yeah, my money has to go somewhere now.
Yeah. Well, that's like with the
Oh,
house.
my.
It's like, oh yeah, so that's like an asset to me. What do I want my daughterhood to have?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
ooh.
That's what my mum does. She's a lawyer. Like,
Oh,
let's
yes.
say-
Oh, true. We have an attorney present.
Thank you for tuning in. Like, here's me feeling, what the fuck's a trust?
I don't know as much as I should because I don't have to. She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's such a like. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I like. She'd always say to us like, "I'm way like more." That was good England. I'm better off dead than alive to you girls because like if I die, like
Yeah.
you've got the house and you've got the money and stuff. I'm like 7, Mum. Like, I get
Giving
this
it to you
education.
straight.
Yeah, she's like, but honestly, I'm more used to you dead, and I'm like, okay,
All right.
but
One less person to worry about.
Sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a happy
yeah.
childhood.
I
Yeah.
know. It was like, yeah, if I die, you can have a freehold house. It's like, oh, cool.
yeah, yeah.
What does that mean?
Mom, I just wanted my lunch. Shit.
Yeah, that's a weird thing with the freehold and the like how much the council might own of your land.
It must be the bank.
The bank,
The
yeah,
mortgage.
the mortgage. What was Ronnie saying?
Ronnie
He bought that house for
he bought the house for like it was like 40K, like 60K or something like that. It's a
nice house on the hill, like
couple of acres.
big, yeah, like a big villa, like beautiful thing, like, and the way he's done it up so nice.
Bamboo fountains, like complete.
But over the last
Zen.
20, 30 years,
Yeah.
he's given the government,
No, not the government. The
The
church.
the church has taken
Leasehold.
how much?
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million.
Just over leasehold. And yeah, it's just like he got it for super cheap, bought it there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's owned. This church has owned this house and like for so long, and
It's just, and
So what? He leases the house off the church.
off the church. The church owned the house. They're their
So
own.
he-
one
he-
upfront payment of 40K, and then
Yeah, so he gets to be able to do whatever he wants. He
Yeah.
sort of owns that, but it's a leasehold.
and
So
it just keeps on going up.
keeps going on.
And the church doesn't pay taxes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
Well,
religions.
it's a crazy thing in the islands. Essentially, like what happens is that all land for example, at least Rarotonga, so it must be the same probably everywhere else, but it's not as strong as it is in Rarotonga. It's owned by families.
And they lease it out.
You cannot.
100-year leases.
Yeah.
In Bali.
Yes,
too,
yes.
Like if you want to build a house there, you can't own the land.
Yeah.
From there,
Yeah.
which is good, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they're
that
he's
chord's
going
just
in
a
and
little
out,
bit,
eh?
We're losing
that
you,
one in.
Josie. The
Hold it
lawyer.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But essentially, they'll go. So when you go to the islands, you'll see a bunch of houses that have just concrete foundations and Rio bar sticking out of the ground.
You said about this on our show, on our podcast.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, here's an explanation. So, so and so what happens is that people go to their families. You have to apply for this land. Like, I'm going to look after it. So most people go to a bank to be able to get the funds to get the house up. But essentially, what they do is wait 5 years. They don't have to do anything while they have that land and while they have that loan. But that loan gets extended if they just put foundations down. So you'll get houses.
Keep putting the foundation.
Yeah, so they just put a foundation down, and that extends the loan past like 5 years. But
Is that because they're living here? Why are they doing that?
essentially because they want to buy a house, but they've just been very stupid. They're stupid with their money.
Yeah, it doesn't sound smart, but it's a loophole.
Yeah, it's a loophole.
So what happens is that the bank reclaims
got 16
it,
foundations.
and then it's given out.
Not one house.
They give it out for 100 years. So there's a bunch of resorts all around Rarotonga that aren't. None of the money goes to any of the families or anything. It goes straight from tourist comes over, spends a couple $100 at this resort, and goes straight overseas.
Yeah.
That's
Like
cheap.
that, straight over there, and that was the same as the Italian mafia.
Yeah, and
That's funny.
Rarotonga.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That Hilton,
Hilton Hotel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So there's a hotel over there where they were basically doing, what's the word for it? Not frauding money.
Laundering.
Laundering
Cash
money.
laundering.
That's right. And this hotel was like, mattresses were in there, just wrapped up. There was like all the towels and all that was ready, and then they just left in a matter of days because they had got caught on essentially.
Yeah.
And you had all the island bang like, ooh, everyone has the same curtains, everyone's got the same like bed sheets and stuff like that. But I think it's just I was like, when I heard they got the house, 400, right, congratulations,
Yeah. that's a
Yeah.
good one,
congratulations.
cheers to the bank.
Yeah. It's like
mate. Yeah, going over your life, like, it seems like you haven't done anything too sketchy. Here's a lot of money.
they didn't know.
And it's
They didn't
it's
know.
like, yeah, we'll take that if you come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Equity.
like, what is, in a sense, like, because I haven't yet felt that pressure, but it's like, what if you don't pay your mortgage payments? What happens to you?
So the first house I had, when we moved over to Australia, we tried to rent it out, and that was hard on the idea of income and risk and owing stuff, and so it was really, I don't know, it didn't handle it well, and so it was just got really, really nervous, and then I think we managed to get another person in to rent. It was like, and then we were renting here, and that was far more expensive. Just couldn't afford it.
Losing money. Yeah.
And I was like, so anyone that's getting a mortgage out there, you think that the biggest thing is about getting the deposit and getting the mortgage, but then you've actually then got to
Pay off the mortgage.
You live your life
Yeah.
with the repayments, with the interest going up, with the rates, with the insurance, and then do the rest of your life. And so
That's a lot.
second time round, I'm like, oh, so
Yeah. Do you have good cash flow this time? In
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
what you're paying off? 30,
It's
yeah.
nice breathy.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it was
And
it was funny when talking to the advisor, he'd be like, so how do you want to structure this? And I was like, can we do an offset account? So that's basically where you have an account where all your pay goes, and depending on its value, it offsets the principal amount that you're repaying back.
the interest.
Yeah, so the
Yeah.
interest is less. And he's like, oh, no, SBS don't do that. I was like, oh, damn.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, maybe just the whole value then. And then he was like,
Excuse me, we'd like to make some money.
So
on
are
it.
you
Okay.
30-year?
yeah, 30-year mortgage. And it was like, so we could do a revolving credit, and that's what I had last time. And we paid a little bit off, and then we needed some more cash, so then we extended that. And then we paid a little bit off, and then we extended it again. So we were at max lending and not having paid off this revolving credit, and I just got triggered straight away. I'd be like, oh, I'd rather not. And then I was like, actually no. I was like, I can do this.
It's such a yeah, but
Scary,
there's
let's
no
say.
other.
Let's buy a house
no
in the
other way
metaverse.
you'll be able to buy a house. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
And you're at that generation of like, okay, you can do it, you know?
yeah, but it's also like the value, like you say, 495 in Tukaroa. It's like, well, you know, that's Tukaroa, that's the market, and it's kind of like, well, I live there, I work there, so let's do it. And basically paying the same as I'm renting. So like, great. Oh, of course I could flat, but
Yeah.
yeah, I have a daughter, and
Yeah.
my girlfriend, she has a daughter, so you know, it's good.
You need a house.
Good to have a house.
Yeah.
Have they got some
Come
flatmates
here-
rolling
come
in
here,
their
my
undies and be
flatmates,
like, jiggle, stop.
But yeah,
Let's go live in a commune.
yeah,
Let's
Yeah.
go live in a
hard.
commune.
Hard.
I'd love to go live in a
some
commune.
vibes, man. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll
It's,
grow the veggies.
Bit of
Yeah.
freedom.
But that's like the hardest thing that realized when we went to Australia was like, fuck, we're doing this on our own. And so like, when my daughter was little, we went and lived with her parents for 2 months. Like, it was still hard as shit, but like it just sort of meant that like you could focus on parenting and you'd get fed.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, you could like take a moment and go for a walk, and Billy would get looked after. So like commune would be awesome. And then we lived in Australia. We got visited, but you know, anytime
Yeah.
I was at work and my ex was at home with my daughter, and it's like, oh, I can't really leave.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And then we came here, and it was pretty much the same, but way less money. And so then we had like financial pressure.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
Be nice to have a tribe, you know.
Yeah, but that's
nice
a
to have a
tribe.
tribe. Well, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Like, it seems as like I know there's that whole talk about. Oh, you were saying before, like for generations upon generations, most civilizations, or these tribes had like at least 300 people. And
Yeah.
any more, it was
150.
150.
Yeah. Dumbbell's number.
dumbbell, that's the one.
Yeah. And that was like the capacity of where you do everybody. And everyone knew you.
That's how many people your brain can hold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you grow up with? Like,
What do you mean?
like I had my two parents, my two brothers, my uncle and auntie, that were close by. My mum's parents were close by, and then my dad's parents were in Dunedin, and then it was my dad's dad was in Dunedin, like all growing up. Like that was handy.
No, fair. Like, large spread.
Yeah.
No, for me, it was just my mum, dad, and sister. And then she went off to uni, and it was just me, and all bliss past that point.
Shout out to the siblings.
Yeah. Love you.
Gritting your teeth. I love you so much.
But yeah, small little thing, but it would be nice, I think, because for about a year and a bit, I went and stayed with my friend Stevie, and she was definitely commune vibes, and she said she created a house into a commune in a sense. So she's been pretty well off with her parents both being like real estate agents in Napier, and they own this house on just like Nelson Cruz, just literally down the road. And
go to this address.
Yeah.
They will feed you.
She's got
vegan food.
Yeah. Oh, just like vegan, like real conscious, environmentally. Like when I went over there, before that, went to the supermarket, got like plastic bags, and you get your bloody like groceries and stuff like that. Now I can't help. It looks mean when you get like apples in a brown bag, you know, and you feel really good about it, and you get your nuts and shit. And but
it's such
you've been shopping at Chantel's.
Yeah, I mean for like 4 times the price maybe, but and that's a silly thing as well. The fact that it's almost it's not possible. It literally is just harder to be healthy in this world. You know, you got to like. You gotta look in the face of capitalism and say, yes, daddy, yes. You know, just dive into like globalization and be like, I want that pineapple that's been taking 4 years in another country. You know, like what the hell?
So odd. Yeah, pineapples. Yeah, they take 4 years to grow.
Pineapples take 4 years to grow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
And a pineapple plant only makes 1 pineapple.
Yeah.
Are they in Raro?
No, they don't
They're
really
in
make
Bali.
them in Raro.
Yeah, I saw them in Bali. I was like, that is buzzy.
Yeah.
This thing on the ground. You're like, that's
Pineapple.
That's
Yeah.
pineapple.
Yeah, I think that's the thing with, buying healthy stuff. It's like, yes, it's expensive, but like if you've got time, you can do it for cheap. But it's like that's both an expense. Like no one has time to like prep all these things or grow all your food. It's not realistic a lot of the time. Even though those options are there, it's like it's either financial strain or time strain.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a burger's like 30 seconds.
System's rigged.
Systems rude. You got a close family,
Yeah,
yeah.
somewhat. Kinda. I mean, like my dad has like 9 siblings, so like big Dutch family. Just like, but I mean, I know them, you know, but I don't know them.
Yeah.
In the sense of like, I don't, you know, like I know my friends are my family.
Yeah.
You know, my mum and my dad are some of my best friends. So, but past that, it's like extended's just like, hey, like
It's too big.
yeah, it's almost too big, and they're all spread through New Zealand. So it's just like, and somewhere in Holland, and yeah. So yeah, no, I wouldn't say I'm close with my extended family, but it's like that, you know.
Yeah, it is weird. Modern world, eh?
Yeah. Well, you get to choose it. You know, there's so many
Hard.
Choose your
fish
family.
in the sea.
You choose your family.
So much family in the ocean. You get to pick them because if you're around a dickhead, you're like, well, I don't have to hang out with you. There's like a million good cunts around here, so I might as well, find more of those, and
Yeah. More people that see the door.
See the door.
exactly, man.
Yeah. And you, Jess?
Yeah, so I grew up with stepmom, dad, mum, a couple of partners with mum, grandparents close by, but my extended family is here in Hawke's Bay. I'm from Tauranga.
All right.
So, yeah, I was never really close to them. Like, I've got heaps of cousins, but I've never lived, like, in close proximity to them, which, like, heaps of my friends did, and I found so trippy. I was like, whoa, you can see them, like, weekly? Like, the novelty must wear off.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, same for me. It's like, I've definitely got a chosen family, like,
Yeah.
for sure.
Jose's a dance instructor. She's got a team of all the dance, the studio. They're like a big family.
Squad.
Yeah.
Squad.
And they
It's
get
a time.
paid. It's paid.
You're not putting on a show tomorrow. I'm going to.
I've literally got a show next week.
Yeah.
But not tomorrow.
No, it's
You off to the mount tomorrow?
no.
Oh.
It's here in Hastings. But
Yeah.
It's recital season,
Recitals, yeah.
which is crazy with the COVID stuff. I'm like, just heard there's cases in Tauranga. I'm like, just let us get it out. Just
Hard.
get the show out.
Hard.
I want to get it. I just want to like, come on,
Get
white blood cell, let's go.
Get those
Like, let's
antibodies.
go.
Get the strong antibodies.
Yeah.
My antibodies are run out.
you didn't have COVID, did you?
No,
No.
but I was vaccinated like June. I'm like,
Do you need to have a booster?
apparently.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Because you had it early, yeah.
Yeah.
You were like one of the first.
And a chick that I work with in Tokoro, her sister works at the supermarket. So she was May, and I was like, man, you're well gone.
Yeah.
It's like, so they say.
Yeah.
So they say.
That passport.
Have you tried to get it?
Oh, no, I don't know. That's a
That's a
such
conversation.
tired
It's like it's
conversation.
almost like it's very tender. It's a
Oh.
tender conversation. It's
Yeah.
very on everyone's brain. Like today we went to Harvey. Yeah, we went to Harvey to go get some breakfast.
There's
go
some
get
opinionated
we
social warriors out there.
yeah, we went out. Walked out. Went and got our food.
Harpy's a good spot. Shout out to
Harpy's
Yeah,
a
shout out to
spot.
Harpy.
Shout out.
Went and sat down, and then this lady just really had it in her soul to just look at
To
like
talk to you.
well, to
Like,
talk to us.
To preface this,
And be
she,
like-
she had no mask on, right?
Of course.
And then she's like, "Why don't you guys have a mask on?" And we're like, and I was like,
We're sitting down.
Yeah. I literally was like, "Where's your mask?" She was like, "Well, we walked in wearing it. Now we've taken it off because we're sitting down." I'm like, "So you're sharing the same air as me right now? It wouldn't change anything." And she was like, "So where's your mask?" And we're like, and I was like, "We all have exemptions." She's like, "Why do you have an exemption?" We all have medical issues. She was just like not having
We're
a virus,
smokers.
but it's so weird because all I can have is empathy for her because she's literally living in fear.
Yeah.
But it's such a delusion because she doesn't have a mask on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just such a funny one,
I
man.
remember, when I was over in Christchurch, saw my mate Tino, who's a chef over there. Shout out to Tino. He was just like, he's very German, and he's very German. But he was raised. His parents were both communists, and when the Berlin Wall was still there. So his parents, it was just saying to me, his parents were like, "Don't look at the government like the right way. Always question like your authorities around you." So he
Dino.
but he was basically saying it's just so weird how we're all in the kitchen, steaming hot, and none of us have masks on. We're handling all your food, all of your food,
Just the waiters.
and then we give it to the waiters who just who have to wear masks, and then walk it out to people who no longer have masks again. And
Because
it's
they're
just
sitting down and safe.
yeah.
We're playing
in your
games.
nice little bubble,
Yeah.
But it's weird the ones that are actually fallen for those traps, and actually stuck in those beliefs.
Well, I bet you half of their conversation after we sat down was like, "Oh, we're so much better than them, you know? Like, yeah, it's just
They're
like,
just looking for they like the green light to be an asshole.
yeah. Well, I mean, like everyone's informed to have like whatever they feel. If they feel fair, that's like, absolutely right with that. But
Yeah.
when we don't have to be mean to each other,
No.
and we don't have to be mean to each other. That's just like a very human thing.
We don't have to be logical.
That too.
living in your dream right there, right?
Yeah.
Optimism.
Yeah, there's a lot
So
of like
funny.
virtue signaling
Yes.
through like all the main dates and stuff. So I feel like it's that
Very.
too. It's like they're not really considering the actual logistics
No.
of it, but they're just like, I'm trying to prove that I'm a good person.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna like come at you because you've like triggered something in me.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
fighting the right fight.
Yeah.
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 So
We're all fighting the same fight. Like.
yeah.
/ disengaging.
Yeah.
It's like same at work. We're like, we've gotta have mask on, and then it's like we get into the room and the person will take their mask off, and I'm like, oh.
And then you're right.
I was about to
do you
tell
say A?
I was
or
about
B?
to tell you to take your mask off.
Yeah.
I was like, sit down. I'm gonna go over here. Right, take your mask off. And I'm like, this is
This is
bullshit.
just.
It's like,
Only 2 people in the room.
yeah. I'm like, yes, we're playing a game.
yeah. Yeah. Like, wink. Take your mask off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gun to your head.
That's the same.
I've got mine on, and
Yeah.
then they're like, well, I'm double vaccinated. I'm like, of course, yeah. 90% of the country are.
Yeah.
Well, not quite, but yeah.
Almost. I just got my double a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Adverse reactions.
Oh.
Nah.
Ah.
Yeah, bro, I've been remembering my lyrics way better, freestyling nice and
Oh,
clean.
is that? Yeah.
Some good positive ones.
Positive.
Get your vac. No. I'm pro vax.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
No.
My second vax was the first one was just like I was just depressed for like a week. Just really.
That's your immune system.
Lethargic.
Yeah.
It's saying go to bed, man.
Get a bit.
Yeah.
Sit the fuck down.
You're dealing with some shit. Can you just go to sleep?
Yeah, like I always like imagine. Obviously, like your it's just like I don't know. We have as humans, like we have a little like culture of like how we communicate, and I just always wonder if like you gave cells like a little translation, like a translator, and they're just like after like you might get hit in the fucking arm or something like that, and they're just like like
Well, it's
screaming
literally
to
like
each other,
warfare, There's like thousands of them going, or millions of them going against.
We are!
Freedom!
We got this.
Yeah, we got this.
But that second
Little
vax,
Jussy's just running with knives.
yeah.
That's a battle.
The second vax was that feeling when you're like you've worked like an extremely like last couple of 3 days and your body starts to it shuts down essentially of where you feel shaky and weak when you get like hots and colds and stuff like that. That was me for like an entire day. Just like shaking, being like, oh, this doesn't feel right.
It sounds like my hangover the other week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
One,
same as you.
one
Hangover,
toxin to the other toxin.
Hangover. I feel like my kidneys going just fuck off for a little bit.
And that's what that translator's like, just fucking stop, bro. Like,
Yeah, you like eat some food and your stomach's like, wait, we gotta move it. Nah, hang on. Whoa, get off my back. Dude, did you see the volumes we're dealing with right now? just wait.
Yeah.
It always blows me like when you're
Let's
like
get back to baseline before we
you'll see like a meal, like a burger, chips, maybe a salad, and be like, that's all in my stomach right now. Like all that volume. And it's like how is it going? How's it working? Like how's it dealing with all that?
You're not making that conscious decision to digest. It's just doing it.
Yeah. It's like everyone's just like chilling. Can't be fucked anymore, bro. Sorry.
Yeah.
You poisoned us.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
like-
Well, the whole I love talking about this with you, like gut bacteria, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Josie would be the one for this.
Microbiome.
Microbiomes, little bit like community going like sugar.
Yeah.
Sugar, you like
That's,
sugar?
that's those candidas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, candidas.
And on your skin, like different biomes
Yeah.
around your like
Your mic-
armpits,
yeah.
your, like,
Did I
skin.
say
fungal
about
bodies.
the mites and the eyelashes?
The what?
Yeah. So there's a mite called Demodex that's like everywhere with hair. Dogs, humans, anything. But like usually it doesn't live on your eyelash. But hey, if you let it
Evolve.
it'll get there, and it'll like it's the perfect environment. So it'll start like making your skin real flaky and real oily, and it just like has a field day because it feeds off all those fats and skin.
True.
And and then you kill it with tea tree oil.
Ah.
On your eyelashes though?
Yeah.
Just like brush it on.
Nah, I like put
Just
some
mascara.
Yeah.
Come on, tea
I
tree.
put some anesthetic on them, and I'm like, do
Right.
not open your eyes. and then like I've got this like it comes in a little applicator and put it on, and then I've got a mix of 50-50 coconut oil, tea tree oil, and just like wipe that on, leave it for 5 minutes, and then wipe it off, and then just dose them with as much artificial tears as possible.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it'll be fine. But I've had 2 people be allergic to it, so that's always fun.
It's not.
So they come back. You're like, damn it!
So it's not for you. So it's not for you. Okay.
Yeah, and then they have like a foaming cleanser at home, which is a little less tea tree oil.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, I got told this buzzy fact by Josie was saying about bombs, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
So I was
Bombs.
yeah.
Bongs?
Like my
we were at Zonny's gig last night. They finished their set, and then me, Seamus, and our friend Josie, other Josie,
Yeah, just to preface.
just
not
a,
me.
yeah,
Two Josies.
yeah, went
Jojo.
to Jojo, Speedy Jojo. Went out
Shout
to
out.
the beach to watch the red
Neat.
moon. Had a little smoke, and we just got into the conversations that lasted way too long. But anyway, she dropped this 1/5 of all animals on Earth are ants. Every animal. Every animal
There's
on
more
Earth.
biomass of ants.
Ants.
Yeah, and they were just like, the thing was why we're
So fucked.
why we are necessarily the alpha is because we're able to communicate with each other on a very, very large scale. Like we can communicate with people all over the world. And they said if ants just decided, let's work together, they would
Well,
just
they
become
do
alpha.
work together, but they're
But
like
they have
They're-
wars.
they're
They have
they're a
wars.
colony type thing.
Yeah,
instead
very
of-
commonly. Yeah. So if they were just like peace and love, man, and they're like a little culture, like just like advocates being like to the ants being like, man, I
Yeah.
love you, man.
Well,
Do
yeah,
they have a
that's the
criti-
thing.
do they have a critical colony mass? Do you
They
know?
have ants are at war consistently with other tribes. They are always like this queen will have a bunch of ants. This queen will have a bunch of ants, and they consistently
queen.
like there's like tons of breeds. Literally, there's tons of breeds of ants that that only feed off other ants. Like that's their food source.
Psychos.
That's crazy.
And yeah, so if they decided,
Mother Nature's a
essentially,
fucking
yeah, where they
savage.
would become the alpha if they just worked together, just like that. Like imagine like you just see like it'd be like a fabulous sight to see, but you're just like looking down like Emerson Street or down the road, and there's just like this slow crawling like massive ants
just a
towards
wave tornado.
Have you seen when they like take over stuff?
you. Yeah,
Oh,
It's so like scary.
coordinated
ants
attack.
can
right there.
eat an elephant just like to the bones.
Wow.
Just cover it. Oh no! Ant will just get in your ear and just go to your brain, just shut you off.
I wonder why they
Just
don't
feast
eat
it.
us.
What was that? Well, they don't eat us.
Yeah.
Probably have been like the stepped on.
Yeah.
They're just like
Ant killer.
let's just
Imagine
not
if you like woke
But
up and they were
insect repellent.
swarming you.
swarming. Yeah.
But like ant bite hurts, so maybe you'd wake up and maybe that's why.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
New Zealand, we don't really have any dangerous ants.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get some dangerous ones overseas.
But they like they'd have to like. Wonder if they could take down something that's alive, or like they can consume an elephant, but it's not moving.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they kill it.
Oh.
They'll go inside its ear and kill it.
Oh.
And then...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, there's some deathly
you
ants out there.
flipped my story on its head.
No, if they work together, yeah,
It could
They're like
totally
the-
happen whilst sleeping.
Yeah, don't even want to think about that. Like one thing about
sponsored you by ants.
another like buzzy thing that happened is like obviously with the ants, and let's just like delve into the animal chat, was like I remember being in Rara, and this common thing with my granddad's place, he had like geckos everywhere essentially,
Yeah.
so they're just perfect fly eaters. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh yeah, don't kill the gecko.
Don't kill the gecko. And I remember just like waking up one time, I had this like slither down my leg, and it wasn't a wet dream or anything like that. It was just, I was
A
like,
wet dream.
woke up and then just like
The
looked at it.
lizard dream.
Holy shit! And then just like boom, snap up, and there's this little tail just going, like, and this like little thing like scurrying across the
Scaring
thing.
off.
They just
Did you
loose.
grab it, or did it just drop its tail and
just,
run?
Yeah, just fucking. Obviously, I just yeeted, and then it was just dropped a tail and fucking
Grows
fucked
it
it right
back.
off. Isn't that crazy
That's so
though?
crazy.
Imagine just being like, it's be like, have a handshake. G'day, mate. How you doing? I'm just
Take your hand.
shit. So, give me like 3 weeks, bro. I'll be alright.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing with most reptiles. They just grow a limb back. Like a crocodile, if it gets its arm torn off, it'll just grow it back.
I love that video of the two crocs like fighting. It bites off a leg and just like carry on.
Yeah, just carry on. You know, like good play, mate. Fair game.
You got my arm.
It's like a black eye. Yeah. Oh, you took my arm off.
Yeah, you got my arm.
Savagery.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Is there any like stories around the gecko, or it's just straight up don't kill the gecko?
No, it's just like, I mean, they're just harmless. Like, and when you mean stories, what do you mean by stories? Essentially,
Like you're gonna get cursed if you kill the gecko.
oh god, I don't want to know that story. If there is a story, I'm quite fine not knowing that.
You just leave them alone.
Yeah, they're just little critters, man. They're just like roaming the planet. But I always wonder to myself, I'm like, how did you get there? You know, like, were you born? Like, was your descendant of your like? I don't know. How did you get there? Like, did geckos just naturally birth from the sea
They
and then spawned?
Just spawn in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they travel a boat and then have the greatest voyage of their lives.
Are you talking about how they get into Rara?
Yeah, how do they get into Rara? Like,
Yeah, they would have just.
Like, obviously crazy with like, I don't know, like stags as well, like being brought to New Zealand.
And
yeah.
fucked up.
Just like imagine like that voyage for that, like that's years actually, going from Europe and all the way to the thing, and they're just like there's a descendant.
We're going to.
We've been traveling on this boat for 3 generations. You must make it to the land.
Can you do it? Can you do it?
Oh, it depends what one. Is it? Yeah, but it's like a year. What happened with the bloody on heat? Like,
Yeah. Let them do their thing.
now we can have
Yeah,
4.
we had 99 males and we've got 1, but he's impregnated all the other females, so we're good.
He's been doing the hard work. But that was when I was younger. I had this rabbit named Peanut Butter. It was a little peanut butter looking.
And how many did you have in the end?
Yeah, well, what happened is that I had him for like his entire since he was a baby till he was an adult, and I remember there was a breeder who was like, "Oh, we really like the look. Can we get him?"
Was Peanut Butter a boy?
Yeah, boy. Yeah, and they were like, "Okay."
Get
Yeah,
him.
I was like, "Yeah, sweet. I'll look after him." And he literally
get his nut.
spent there like 2 days, and he fucked himself to death. Like literally, he impregnated the shit out of that rabbit,
Yeah.
but just like that died like 2 days after. And like, what a way to go out, bro!
Yeah,
What a
fucking-
way to go out!
That's,
Just busting a nut. I'm good.
Go out on his shield.
You come in at Ocean View last night. There was the whole whānau. I was like, "What's up, dudes?" It's like, how many weeks apart are you guys?
Yeah.
Just everywhere, eh?
Yeah.
Bunnies. They just love roadsides.
Yeah.
That's like I wonder like
White
puka and shit.
Patakis,
Like,
there's
Puka.
they're just like. All right, I'm gonna cross now. Time's
Where are they going?
I hear something. I think this is a sign.
It's like like mini dinosaurs. Like the brain's not there.
They
But
don't give a fuck. I was driving yesterday to Huey's, and there was one in the center of my road, and I'm just pulling up, and then I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna wait. I just beep, and it's like, I'm just gonna go around you. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate seeing.
They don't give a fuck.
I hate seeing pheasants and hawks dead. Like, damn it!
They're too beautiful.
I was
Eh?
like, there's another great one gone.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's weird what we attribute like.
It would have been mean.
This is a good thing.
It would have been so cool to be in a place where Haast eagles were like just booming. Like imagine seeing some.
I want to know what the conversation was because they didn't disappear for no reason.
No, they were killed.
like the Māori just like turn up here, rock around the North Island, and be like, "Oh yeah, this is pretty sweet."
Where did Frig go?
Then they moved out. Then they moved out to the South Island, the West Coast. Like, let's get that greenstone. Holy shit!
Yeah. Wouldn't pick up mowers, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Fucked.
They're like, "Oh, this place is sweet. There's lots of valuable stones here, but just one problem."
There's literally a demon in the sky. Like a monster with feathers.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the Haast eagle could just pick you up and just take you away.
Maybe like a child. I don't know if it could grab her.
If it's getting a mower, I'm saying it's picking you up.
Yeah.
But birds are light, you know?
I don't think the mower's light. It's like
Yeah.
2 times the size of you.
It didn't fly for a reason.
Is it
Yes.
was a mower 2 times the size of me?
Yeah, it's huge.
I think the small
Was it
ones
12
2 meters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The small ones 2 meters. You're like, jeez.
Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought they were like an emu.
bigger.
Oh damn,
And solid.
solid.
They were thick.
I'd love. Would you guys ever, if you got the opportunity, would you ride an ostrich?
Fucking oath.
Yeah.
Settle
Those
an
are good.
ostrich and just. That'd be crazy. Oh, that'd be mean.
Some buzzy animals out there. And it's weird we have relationships with animals. Like there's a dog in the house and that's just like normal to us. But it's like this little thing, you know? It's just a little thing that lives
What
with
does
us.
it do all day?
It just-
Well, I think dogs' perception of time doesn't. They don't really have a really good perception of time, essentially. So they will see their owner, and it's it's the same feeling. Like when we come home and shit like that.
yeah.
But it's just like as if
Losing
the
their
brain
mind.
is going to explode. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god!
Well, same like you guys have been sitting out here. Like, it's got a good hearing. They can probably hear us
Yeah.
chatting. And
Totally.
then you're going to go inside and be like, hey, what's up?
It's quite funny with dogs as well. Is that they're all they're all tonal because you can be like, look at you, piece of shit! You're an
Yeah.
asshole.
Yeah, and they're like,
You're
yes.
a good asshole. And then you can be like, you're the best damn thing I've ever known. You know, like you're so lovely. Like just
They're
like,
like, "Arr."
and they'll be like, oh. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird thing.
It's a strange thing.
You got to tell your little doggies like, so you're.
Yeah. So my mother, the lawyer, is
Mm.
also a puppy raiser for the Guide Dog Foundation.
Oof.
So we just have
Ah.
like chronic puppies, which is great. But yeah,
It'd be
it's-
And
sweet
does
if
she
you
train
go
them
blind.
Does she
yeah.
train them too?
Yeah. So we have them for.
How do you train? How do you train?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
You have to they have to pee and poo on command. So you say busy to pee and big busy to poo. We love that. But they're not allowed to do any of their business whilst they're walking.
On the
Yeah.
job, no poop
On the
breaks.
job.
There's so many, there's so many little random things that you can't play fetch with them because if they're guiding and they go get they just take off.
Yeah,
God,
true.
yeah.
Yeah. They can't have
Here we go, mate.
They're working,
Yeah.
service dogs, eh?
Yeah.
But you can't.
Yeah.
Is it that you can't touch them?
So this is a common misconception when when we have them, they're in their socialization phase. So our training is mainly socialization, but it is basic home training. And then when they go into kennels, they do 2 years of proper training if they don't get withdrawn. And that is when they're guiding, you can't touch them. So if they've got the middle brace,
around
them.
you can't pat them and stuff. But for us, we just have them on a normal lead, and you can pat them.
Why is it that you can't touch them? Is it just
They're chill.
Yeah, well,
They're busy.
it's mainly
I'm on the job.
a social
big busy.
thing that if everyone's coming up to this dog and this poor blind person's just trying to get to the library, it'd be just quite
the library of
disruptive.
books?
With audiobooks.
Yeah.
I was just I know my brain was library. Yeah, but true. Okay.
But and also just distraction and I think it's more of a social control thing because people could come up and feed it or do all those things.
Yeah, I mean, a pet's probably them just taking a shot of heroin or something like that. Don't give it to me, man.
No,
lose my shit.
Yeah.
I must resist.
I
must resist.
Yeah. But it's crazy. The foundation doesn't get any government funding or support or anything.
Really?
It's
Is
all-
it just,
That's
all
solely Guide
donations.
Dogs, Guide Dog Foundation is its
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah, and they don't run it in the South Island because my mum's actually moving to Christchurch and she can't do it down there.
why is that?
The program is just not
No,
set
but-
up there.
oh, true.
Yeah, so it's all based in Auckland. But yeah, it's crazy that they get it's all donations and it costs about 60,000 per dog to train fully if they
Jesus.
make it completely through the program.
Holy!
Yeah.
And how would somebody apply to get that dog? Essentially,
If you are blind.
If you are blind.
Yeah, so it's a massive process. You'll be on a waiting list for years to get one. And then it depends on, how many are ready because lots get withdrawn. Most dogs don't make it.
Navy SEALs.
Yeah.
Did passports.
Because
Bud.
they can get withdrawn on the most basic dog nature, if they just look at a bird dog distraction whilst they're walking, they're withdrawn. They pee when
if they do it once,
Yeah.
if they just
But-
okay, we can't.
Well, depends on what phase they're in their training. But if they're towards the end, their dog just their distraction's too bad. Or there's so many niggly little things. Our last dog had a skin condition and that got withdrawn because just because he was itchy. Poor guy.
I just looked at the computer and it's about to die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right, should we